Since Brexit, Great Britain, of course, is no longer part of the EU, so import sales tax must be paid on imports. An import sales tax has been levied in Great Britain since Brexit. This tax applies to most goods and services at a standard rate of 20%. However, there are exceptions where a reduced rate is applied or the tax is waived. Great Britain left the European Union with Brexit on January 31st in 2020, and after the end of the agreed transition period, the United Kingdom is no longer part of the internal market and therefore no longer a member of the common EU customs union as of January 1st, 2021. From an EU perspective, Great Britain has since then effectively become a third country. Shipments and transport of goods to and from Great Britain are no longer part of the intra-EU movement of goods, but are considered imports and exports. Therefore, when exporting goods from Germany and other EU countries to Great Britain, various customs and tax formalities must be observed. Among other things, import sales tax is due on imports. The VAT rules that apply to sellers will depend on who is responsible for importing into the UK under the agreed delivery terms. If importation into Great Britain falls under the responsibility of the seller, they will have to pay VAT. This is usually the case when the goods are delivered to end consumers. That means they are business-to-consumer transactions, or B2C for short. Then the traders are liable to pay the tax, as they are usually the ones who declare the import. They can also transfer the import sales tax to the customer, but they must then make this clear before completing the purchase. If it is a B2B delivery from Germany, for example, that means a business delivery to a British company, the recipient must pay import VAT if they have a British VAT identification number. But that is the rule, so it usually will happen that way. A special case exists if a German company has a warehouse in Great Britain. Import VAT is then due for the company in question as soon as the goods arrive in the United Kingdom. The standard import sales tax in Great Britain is, as I said, 20%. As of 2023, a reduced tax rate of 5% applies to certain goods and services, or if the circumstances of the sale meet certain rules. This rate is applied, for example, to child car seats, household fuel, or mobility aids. Some products, such as most groceries or children's clothing, are not subject to sales tax at all. Different regulations apply to small shipments to England, Wales, and Scotland. Small shipments are deliveries with a goods value of less than £135 net sales price, which is at the end of 23 around €155. They are exempt from customs duties and import sales tax upon import. However, they are subject to regular UK VAT. Suppliers must register for VAT in the UK and pay VAT on shipments to end consumers. However, when selling via an online marketplace, the marketplace operator must pay sales tax. And when making deliveries to other companies, the British company must pay VAT using the reverse charge procedure. Import sales tax is also due when goods are imported into Germany here from the United Kingdom. Who has to pay this is usually specified in the delivery conditions. The obligation usually lies with the British dealers unless German private customers have expressly agreed to pay the import sales tax when purchasing. When importing goods from Great Britain to Germany, there is also a special regulation for small shipments. If the value of goods in the B2C sector is less than €150, suppliers can use the IOSS process. IOSS stands for Import One-Stop Shop and is an online portal which is intended to simplify the payment of VAT for distance sales to the EU. The import sales tax for shipments with a value of up to €150 then does not have to be paid. If the purchase is made via a German online marketplace, the tax liability lies with the platform operator. The countries of Great Britain, with the exception of Northern Ireland, have been considered third countries for the EU since 2021, so import sales tax must be paid on imports from Germany to the United Kingdom. And as I said, this is 20% as standards, but there are reduced rates for certain product groups. Who is considered an importer depends on the agreed delivery conditions, and if the sellers are responsible for the import, they have to pay the import sales tax. And special regulations apply in B2C business for direct deliveries with a goods value of up to 135 British pounds, as I said. Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, but its own rules have been agreed for trade with the country. Shipments to Ireland are viewed as intra-communities deliveries from a VAT perspective, so Northern Ireland remains within the scope of the European VAT system directive. And since leaving the European Union, Great Britain has recorded $1 billion trade deficit in trade with the EU. In 22, around 113 billion euros. It was lower than the 135 billion in 21. And Brexit, the decision of the United Kingdom to leave the European Union, was a highly controversial topic. And there are indeed many reasons why people believe that this was a stupid idea. One of the main reasons why Brexit is considered to be a bad idea is that it will damage the UK economy, as it already did. And the UK, as a major trading partner with the EU, leave the trade bloc where you're in, and it will be more expensive to export goods and services, everybody knew. And this led to a decline in economic growth. And another concern is that Brexit weakens the UK's influence in the world. They are a member of the G7, the UN Security Council, and other important international organizations, but leaving the EU made it more difficult for the UK to cooperate with its allies on a range of issues, including trade, security, and climate change. Brexit, of course, has brought a lot of little snippets of problems, and that's why I just wanted to make a video even on this dry topic of import sales tax, but that just shows one of the little stones in the whole wall of problems that Brexit brought. And I think to get a full picture, you need all those small snippets, because in the end, all those little tiny stones build a gigantic wall of problems that Brexit has brought. And if you want to know more, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.